Let's check out the Abxylute streaming device.
Okay, I want to preface this video by saying I've split it into two parts. So this video will be me looking at the actual thing itself, going over how it feels, and for my actual experiences and software side of it is going to be in part 2. So make sure you're subscribed. Let's jump in.
All right, this is the Abxylute. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. If that's not how you say it, well then, sorry. But yeah, this is how it arrives. And inside here, you get a case. And inside that case is the device, but you also get a USB-A to USB-C cable. Now, you need to, take note of that because they specifically ask you to only use that cable. Because they say C to C cables or other A to C cables might not work. So this is what we get, and opening it up, we do get the device itself. We get a manual as well, which is pretty brief. It's just kind of telling you the buttons and stuff. So yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, this is the device itself. Now, this is the sticker that it comes with. Now, it does say what I was sort of mentioning earlier, saying only use the cable we've given you and no other cable. Yeah, okay, I've not used any other cable. I've only used the one supplied and it works. But they do also say not to use a charger over 20 watts. But before we look at the device itself, let's look at the case, which is a nice little hard shell case, and I definitely think it's a good inclusion. I wasn't actually expecting the case to come with it, to be perfectly honest, so it was a little bit of a shock when I opened the box to find the case. But that leads us nicely to our first ever sponsor, which is TomToc, which is the go-to places for cases. We're really happy that TomToc has decided to sponsor this video and help us out because, we can't do this without you and also with help from sponsors. But yeah, TomToc cases are amazing. This is actually for the Asus ROG Ally, so it's a really nice slimline case for the Ally with a lovely felt sort of plushy material inside with a nice design as well, and cutouts for the joysticks. So yeah, highly recommend TomToc cases. Go and check them out, link in the description. And that brings us to the Abxylute console just here. It's a really large screen, so it actually looks much bigger because the whole device is really sleek. So this is a 7-inch screen. It is 1080p and it is also 60 FPS, and it runs Android. It's got Hall effect sensing joysticks as well, just here, and it's got gyro as well as like a dual Wi-Fi configuration for like ultimate streaming, like low latency and all that good stuff. More on that in a minute. It also touts an 8-hour battery, which is massive. Obviously, I would expect that from a streaming device because no heavy lifting is actually getting done from the device itself. It is just literally streaming it over the internet. So all it's really doing is registering your inputs. Now, this is running Android 12, I believe. So this is one of the little kind of nitpicks I had with it because it is just an Android tablet. You have to set this up like a phone. So you have to go through everything. Yes, no, maybe, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Through all the different, notifications and stuff that it asks you to set up. And it even says, do you want to set this up as a phone? Because it thinks it's a phone. So that's just something to note. You kind of have to get through all that faff before you then get to this nice clean OS. So it's not like a phone when you actually get into it. It's like this, which is really nice. I like the look of it a lot. It's nice and easily displayed. Now, I've obviously downloaded some apps already. It's got a few on it out of the box, but mainly you're going to have to go to the Play Store or to Abxylute Essentials, where they recommend you to download some stuff. But let's just take a look at the actual device and the ergonomics and stuff like that. So straight away, the device actually feels quite premium. I love this kind of mattified plastic. It's not a fingerprint magnet at all. It's actually a nice feeling plastic. It's pretty lightweight as well at 430 grams, and it's got this really nice texture all over it. So it's got a textured back plate. It's got these sort of ridges and stuff for superior ergonomics, which is what they tout it as. And you can just see how thin that is, which in my opinion kind of detracts from the ergonomics. I like it being a little bit more chunky so that I can sort of get my hands around it. But once I got used to this, it's not too bad. But my initial impressions was, wow, that's not very comfortable, because you don't really know where to put your hands. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't really find a natural position to like grip the thing, but I suppose with these little horny bits on the back, that's where you just kind of like anchor your fingers and then just go from there, which is actually fine. And the more I used it, the more I got used to it, and the more I realized that actually, yeah, this is okay, because it still dips down in the corners just here for the palm of your hands to go into, but there's no like extended horn for this asymmetrical layout. But because the whole thing is rather large and wide, this right stick isn't too bad. If you kind of like grip it like this, you can get down there, or if you like loose gripped it, I don't know how comfortable that would be, but for me, I've been kind of like resting it on my pinky and then getting down to the joystick like this, which has been much nicer than just kind of trying to hold it and cramp your hand down, which is the problem with any asymmetrical controller device, you know, that's all in one, because you need to get your thumb down here, and it's not often easy, so you do have to kind of grip it slightly weird just so that you've got it. But once you get used to that, it's not really a problem, but it is something that you're probably going to have to get used to. But really, it is a very thin, lightweight design, and I like that they've gone for a bold statement in their design choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just looks a bit different, a little bit more sleek. I'm not too sure what's going on with the blue joystick cap, but yeah, there we go. We've got a bunch of buttons as well. So we've got this one down here, which when you're in a game and stuff, it just brings you back to this kind of like home page, but so does the home button, which is what I found. So maybe this button does different things in different games. To take a screenshot, which is what I thought that was going to be, is actually both of these together. So you hold those down together, and there you go. I've just taken 2 screenshots now, and there we go. So we've got the normal sort of like select, whatever they call that these days, button, and then start button, again, whatever they call that these days. And then we've got 2 speakers on the front. We've got like a rather nice D-pad, to be perfectly honest. I don't dislike this D-pad at all. It's thin, it's rather flat, but there is a bit of a concave in it, but it's got a nice sort of resistance. It's not too stiff, it's not overly mushy, it's definitely not clicky or anything, but I don't dislike it, and it's a larger size as well, which is definitely nice. What's small though is the Hall effect sensing joysticks. They've actually gone for Nintendo Switch joysticks. So these are Joy-Con joysticks, which is probably my biggest letdown. Now, they did send through a pack of joystick grips as well, and these are actually for the Nintendo Switch. These are Skull & Co. We've reviewed these on the channel in the past. They're excellent grips, really recommend them, and you'll probably have a better time using them with this than just the stock grips, to be honest, because they can extend the height and stuff, giving you more accuracy, which is definitely cool. But yeah, like the joysticks, I'm not a fan of Joy-Con joysticks anyway, so I don't know why they've put them on here. Like, I don't know, you could have gone for like smaller, like normal joystick modules. I'm not too sure, but they are Hall effect, so you're not going to get drift. They're quicker to input, but to be honest, I don't find the accuracy that good, just purely because of the nature of the joystick size. Because they're so small, they end up being hyper twitchy. I like the lit face buttons. You can change the brightness of these and even the color as well, or you can just turn them off, but I actually like this. That's one thing. Like, I play the Steam Deck probably more than anything, to be honest, and at night sometimes I would like to see the buttons, even though I know them, I just like to see them glow like a little bit, like 1%, and you could do that with this, and I genuinely like it. There's no other RGB on this. It's not like in your face horrible or anything. Like, it's tactful. I like it. This is practical, because when you're gaming at night, sometimes you want to see the buttons, and this lets you do it. Then we're on to the bumpers and triggers. Really like them, to be honest. They're super quick to actuate. There's no travel at all, no post travel. They just click. Like, as soon as you want them to click, they click. Love it. We also have analog triggers for obviously playing racing games and all that good stuff. Analog triggers are a must. They feel nice, you know, they definitely feel nice, and they sit in your hands well. Like, when you're playing with these, I find getting to both of these absolutely fine. They follow the curvature of the system too, so they don't dig into your fingers or anything. I like it. Overall, even though I had some trouble like starting to use it because I felt that ergonomics were a little bit weird, I've adjusted to them, and I actually don't dislike the fit and feel of this. You know, it's actually okay. Again, I kind of wish These were bigger, and I kind of wish the buttons were swapped over so it was more like Steam Deck-esque with 2 joysticks here. But yeah, okay, whatever. You know, everyone's got their own preference. But yeah, kind of like it.
Don't forget that part 2 of this video is coming soon, where I'm going to deep dive into the software and the OS and how my actual experiences streaming went. And you don't want to miss out because it's quite interesting what I find out here.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know down in the comments. Have you used an Abxylute? Are you going to buy one? What are your thoughts on dedicated streaming devices? I'd love to know. Also, become a member because you can see these videos early and you get access to our private Discord where you can talk to us, share whatever you want within reason, right? And also check out mine and AJ's podcast where we talk about all things gaming over on the podcast channel. And that's all from me. Bye.